really changed my life.
Welcome back. Episode, I think 132, I want to say. We were talking this whole time, and it literally just occurred to me, hey, you don't know what episode we're on.
Who's we? That's not my job.
I didn't know. I just said we were talking, and it literally just occurred to me, hey, I don't know what episode we're on. What part of this is?
I misheard you.
Yeah, clearly. 131. We're going back to an old topic. I think we've only done one video on The Last of Us, and that was Cosmonaut. So let's hear what somebody else has to say. With this creator, AP Nerds, and his and or their or and her she video, how The Last of Us 1 and 2 changed my life. I'm very curious to see.
They also have a video called Why I Love The Last of Us Part 2.
How long is it?
30 minutes.
How is it almost as long as this one that talks about two of them?
That's very weird. Why would you need both of them? Oh, he also has The Last of Us is still a masterpiece. 36 minutes.
This is just The Last of Us, dude.
Also, why The Last of Us 2 is hated. I think it's pretty clear why it's hated.
It's clear why it's hated in certain circles. Because some circles are hating it for the pacing and it being just not a very good game or a game not as good as The Last of Us. Others are hating it for the story. And others are hating it for woke things.
Of course.
Yeah, so there's a you can't just say why it's hated because there are a lot of reasons. Everybody's a different reason for disliking The Last of Us. I just don't think it's a very good game. There are some parts I really like, but there are other parts. Again, we've said this before that calling out the names just to like make you feel, and it's just like you're trying to murder me. Like, why would I? No.
Depending on how this goes, we might have to come back to this.
Oh my god.
We have this one. We have Why The Last of Us 2 is hated. Why The Last of Us 2 is loved. Last of Us is still a masterpiece. Why I love The Last of Us Part 2. Honest review of The Last of Us Part 1 remake. Was Joe actually disrespected in The Last of Us Part 2? Why Abby is hated in The Last of Us 2. Why Abby is loved in The Last of Us 2. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's a chunky one.
All right.
In defense of The Last of Us 2, why is it loved? Isn't that?
No, that's my personal reason. Now I'm going to take your critical issues with it and dissect it and counter them.
Last of Us 2 month. Yeah, this is also because it's called How It Changed My Life. This is in no way to denigrate this individual or make light of whatever they've gone through. It's just because there's a lot bad with The Last of Us Part 2. And it'd be like if someone was just like a documentary on smart food popcorn changed my life. I'd be like, okay, let's see where you're going with this. Mm-hmm. The best I can say is grief and how to handle it.
Is it though?
Ellie goes about it in the
No. I understand all the grief and stuff because you also have it with Joel. The reason he killed all the doctors is the grief of his daughter, and he's seeing Ellie as his surrogate daughter, and yes, the whole grief thing, both on the side of Abby and Ellie for The Last of Us Part 2 as well. Understandable. But what's the lesson you would gather from that?
Handle your grief in the right way.
No, but what's the right way?
Don't kill the person that...
I'm obviously not going to do that for the most part. So, it's got to be a
there deeper, you go.
I guess I've learned.
Yeah, you're better now. It could just be near the end, she starts to accept her grief, and then she goes back to the toxic. Don't go back to the thing that hurts you. Get over it. ... Or something. In this video essay, I will share with you how The Last of Us 1 and 2 changed my life in ways I never expected. These two games will forever be my favorite games of all time. I have one because of what it means to me. To celebrate the 8th anniversary of The Last of Us and the 1st anniversary of The Last of Us Part 2, this 30-minute video will contain the moments in these two games that shifted the way I think, the way I view the world, and the way I interact with people I love and also don't know. It's a personal video, and I hope can be useful to anyone that decides to watch this, and I hope you can enjoy it. I understand that it's a personal video, and we may talk about something that you have gone through in your life in person, but you've put it out on YouTube. It is out in the public, so you cannot simply expect people to clap and cheer for it. It's out there. Everybody's gonna say anything about it.
Yeah,
no harm to you and what your experience is.
We may end up making light of it, depending on what it is exactly or what's said. But again, like you said, that's just what it is.
Just getting ahead of the we're black. You can't don't you can't do it. Otherwise we'll call you something. Pause. They always use this.
Why wouldn't you?
It's a good song.
It's the Persona stuff. Like, why wouldn't you use the Persona song while doing a Persona video?
Sick of it. All of them.
Yeah, it has to. Doom, 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 doom.
It's a good song, but we got it.
The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 are the best story-based games of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah. 14 seconds. Sentence 1.
It really was the opener. Now, we have dealt with a lot of people that say in my opinion, and we understand the reasoning behind it, because if you're a big channel or you're a video that you expect to get big, you're going to get a lot of comments, and you're going to get a lot of comments of people going, you think your opinion is the only one or the real one or the true one. You're denigrating other people's opinions, but when you're really not, you're just trying to express your own opinion. We understand getting ahead of that. But my God, every time we hear it, it's just oof.
And I realize, because I'm listening back to older episodes, even in the beginning, before
Dude, I love revisiting.
It's very, very good. But even back in the beginning, before we started railing against the whole my opinion and everything, we don't say it. We don't really say it. The most we say is I think or to me or something like that. Because it's just not. It doesn't need to be said, and the people that shouldn't need to be said, and the people that need to hear it, I don't need to talk to you.
Legitimately, like if your whole thing is coming in with your opinion is the only one that matters, that's what you think. Okay, what discussion can we possibly have if that's what you pulled from what I said?
That sentence where it's just The Last of Us 1 and 2 are the best story-based game, and then somebody gets all fervent like, oh, what? No, it's not in my opinion, and then just go, oh, okay, never mind. That's not the person that I need to talk to ever. Because you're just like, oh, you've backed off of all of your mindset because I say it in my opinion. Get out of here.
As opposed to before saying in my opinion, where you thought I was speaking just complete facts.
And you was getting riled up.
Even though best inherently is a subjective thing.
Now, I know some people in the comment section will probably attack me for liking The Last of Us Part 2, or just fill the comment section with this game is better or that game is way better than...
See, this shield, I don't care. Just say what you're gonna say. You're gonna get those comments regardless as if you say this or not. You're gonna get them. Ignore them, engage with them, delete them, hide them, whatever you want to do. But this whole, I know I'm gonna get comments. Just say it. Just get your off. It always feels to me like people are very timid against pushback, the potential blowback of the thing they're saying. Just say it with your chest. If you believe it, just say this.
The Last of Us Part 2. But honestly, to those people saying this, I hear you. I just don't care. I don't care because these two games are one of my favorite games of all time. And if
These two are one of.
You don't want to hear some random dude on the internet get personal and emotional discussing about these games, especially The Last of Us Part 2? Well, there's the door. There's no need for disrespect. Now, for those who have decided to stay and are actually interested in hearing what I feel about these two games, thank you. I really appreciate it, and hopefully...
I wonder what they would classify as disrespect in terms of listening.
Because it's funny, because Triton had that comment with, I don't remember who it was, or was it Million? It was somebody. It was just like, it was a regular comment. And it was just like, you don't need to get disrespectful. It's like, dude, he stole your video. Like, you have to understand what happened here. Who needs your negativity? Like, that. And I wonder if that's part of this, just quote unquote negativity as a whole.
What's the disrespect? Is it, are you stupid? These games suck? Or here are the reasons why what you said are not entirely true.
I'll try my best to tell you guys why The Last of Us, and especially The Last of Us Part 2, changed my life in ways I never expected.
Okay.
That's not even how the sequence works. It just says it in a quick little blurb, and then you get on with your day. Like when the chapters happen, it just says summer, and then it goes away. That was so long.
That's not smooth as you would like it.
I understand he wanted to hit it on the beat, but start the song later then.
The Last of Us, in my opinion, contains the...
What? What's the problem?
A minute and a half in, and we've gotten two, in my opinions, and a shield.
The shield card, no.
The Last of Us, in my opinion, contains the best story ever told in video games.
That's 2 times you've said this. I don't agree, but let's hear it.
Naughty Dog consciously choosing not to focus on the plot of the story like most generic films and games have done for decades, and
What? The focus is on it, but you also play it because you're playing a video game, not watching a movie.
instead decided to shift the main focus of the game on its characters, primarily Ellie and Joel. This made The Last of Us Part 1 become one of the most grounded.
That's in The Walking Dead!
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here?
There's not too much going on in The Walking Dead outside of, here they come for our resources or whatever, but it is a self-contained, essentially, nothing is really happening until something starts happening, and then that moves on, and then that moves on. But they have to, it's just like this where, now Joel is injured and I need to go get some medicine or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it is essentially about the characters, but
A car alarm went off, so we have to hide in this bus from walkers until they pass.
But here comes the Whisperers, and we have to deal with that. It is all plot stuff, because the only reason why Ellie is out there by herself is because Joel was injured because he got pushed off of a balcony and landed on a spike. So the plot happened so that further things can happen with the characters. How does Ellie deal with this by herself? It's not all right.
Immersive and emotional games.
And is that all it really takes to be one of the greatest of all time? To just go
A story that's more about the characterization of the people within, as opposed to, I guess, the plot itself in the world. But the character-driven story is the plot. Like, the characters are driving the plot, which is based around the characters themselves, which is getting to this place so we can, so Ellie can create a vaccine through her bloodstream or whatever. However they were gonna do it, they were gonna chop up her brain. I understand. But yeah, that's the plot. So everything within it is just, hey, if we're just going to a location, a lot of times it's just gonna be people talking to each other and just doing things within that area and keep walking. It's the same thing that happens with a lot of coming of age stories, where they'll take a road trip. It'll be a bunch of teenagers taking a road trip to like Tennessee from like Michigan, and it's like, okay, we got 10 hours to drive, and this is what's happening on our journey. This, I don't think you've seen enough or experienced enough. If this is just like this groundbreaking thing to you.
This made The Last of Us Part 1 become one of the most grounded, immersive, and emotional games of all time. And we see this come into motion when The Last of Us starts. Taking control as Sarah in the beginning of the game when the fungal infection started to spread like wildfire was genius by the developers back at Naughty Dog. Because by the time you take control of Joel for the first time, you as the player already connected with Sarah by controlling her and seeing everything in her points of view.
Controlling a character doesn't make me connect with her. Is there too much of a difference between not controlling this just being a cutscene and you controlling her?
And on top of that, did you not connect with Joel until the second you could start moving him? Did you not connect with Tommy until the second? Because you never
Ellie as well.
Yeah, Ellie. Did you not connect with Ellie until the second you were able to start controlling her? You can connect with any character at any time for any reason, as long as the game gives you a reason to do so. Because you control them, you were able to connect with her. No, you can. I connected with a bunch of people. Like, you never play as Tess. Did you not connect with her?
As scared as Sarah is, seeing the world to burn with your own very eyes, not knowing what's going to happen next. That's why when you have Joel now, you want to protect your little girl. You want her to be safe. And that's why
But what about the people that simply want to shoot zombies? And just like, let's get past this boring stuff. Because those people are inevitably out there. Yeah. And they may enjoy The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 for the gameplay aspect of it.
And I had this discussion with somebody where I said, I think The Last of Us is an amazing experience, but it's not a very fun game. And they were like, no, it's a very fun game. And it's just like, I don't personally find The Last of Us fun. I love the multiplayer. The multiplayer is literally my favorite multiplayer of all time. But the game itself, the loop of it is just not very fun to me. But I love the game. Like, I love experiencing it. I just don't like playing it. Mm-hmm. And there are going to be people that like playing it, but don't really like experiencing it.
Meet the soldier that was told by the higher-ups to kill anyone in the outer perimeters and proceeds to shoot Joel and Sarah. You are truly scared for them. And honestly...
Yeah, because they're unarmed citizens getting shot!
This is the story being the story and making you feel for characters. This isn't a groundbreaking thing.
It's no different than an action movie, and we've said this before, where you get 20 minutes, 30 minutes with the family, and then it's like, we've kidnapped your family. Like, you're scared for the family because you've seen them kill people. Like, they killed the housekeeper or something. Mm-hmm. We've seen it, so we know the family is in danger.
Thank God that Tommy was there because he saved Joel's life. But shamefully, he came way too late because one of those bullets shot Sarah in the stomach. And right then and there, we experience one of the most heartbreaking scenes in gaming history.
This is, unfortunately, very easy to do.
Yes.
Animal deaths and children deaths are very easy to make people sad.
Almost nothing to achieve this. You see a little bit of Sarah and her personality, how they're joking around and everything, but it is a child dying. It is
a child dying slowly and sadly.
Yes, this is an easy thing to accomplish. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that this is an easy thing to do. I'm like, no, I am. So long as you give them any sort of personality, because between the time of the introduction here, what is it, 20 minutes,
something like that,
and you get enough about.
Depending on how much of the house you want to explore and all that.
Mm-hmm. And you get enough about their relationship and everything. So as long as you do anything, you're going to get this reaction.
Listen to me. I know this hurt. You're going to be okay, baby. Stay with me.
Now, not taking away any of the voice acting and the music and everything, because that's also a big part of this. But if you're looking at it purely, if you open up a book and this thing happens, it's gonna be
it's not gonna hit as hard because those things are there to evoke those emotions out of you. The voice acting, the music, that type of thing is meant to enhance whatever feeling they're trying to make you feel.
But they've put in the work to make this a character, and now this character is dead, and they happen to be a child, which is seen to be innocent, and therefore you have a stronger emotional attachment, as opposed to if this is his 34-year-old wife.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby. I know.
Like, imagine the scene with Tommy. It hits less. Mm-hmm. Imagine the scene with his wife. It hits more because a man protective of woman, gender, society, blah, blah, blah. Imagine her being pregnant. That hits even more. So there's levels to these things. And a child would be equal or higher to the wife, depending. I'm not gonna point no elbows at nobody. But you value whoever you want, however you want, at any time.
There's something in the multiplayer of The Last of Us where you can connect your Facebook, and if you don't do well in a round, the people in your camp start to die, and it'll say, do you want to feed this person from your Facebook or that person from your Facebook? The other one's either going to get sick and or die. And you're just sitting there like, oh.
That's a real Walking Dead. I got 2 apples and some crackers and cheese. Everybody hungry.
Yeah, you're just, hey, blank die.
Oh, no. My brother.
But that decision hits harder because it's a person you know, as opposed to Rebecca and Clyde. Like, I don't care which one of them dies, really.
Yeah, like I said, it's all just tears to these things, and having a child makes it easier to feel more sympathetic towards it.
Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on.
Did you have to play the whole scene?
Yes, you needed this.
Why?
People are unfamiliar with this game.
Then why are they watching him play and talk about how much he loves it and why it changed his life?
Because people are very familiar with this game.
No.
Who is this for?
It's for fans of the series. He said that this is one of the most emotional moments, so he's priming them to be like, this is a very emotional moment and a very emotional game, and it puts them in the mood to feel. Like how I talk about, if I was in a mood to laugh, I would laugh at it. This is putting you in the mood to feel.
One of the barsiest bars that I've ever barred. Dude, I cannot tell you how much I use it in my day-to-day or thinking ways. It's just like, if I was in the mood to do it, I understand I would do it.
I understand the value of this, but I'm not there yet. I'm not walking with you on this one. So yeah, this is a personal video, and it's just like, this is the feeling thing. So you are now at instead of a level 0 feeling, you're now at a 15, 20 feel, because you are also re-experiencing this moment the first time that you played it. Maybe you've had a kid since then, and you would imagine like, oh no, what would I do for my little girl or whatever.
Please. Please don't. Please don't.
That was only in the first 18 minutes of a 10 to 12 hour video game.
Oh, look at that.
We already experienced one of the most brutal and intense scenes in gaming history. A kid died in
How much have you
We've
played?
seen people get tortured in video games. We've tortured people in video games. We've seen emotional scenes of people dying in video games.
When was this? Dad, what are you doing? Okay, appropriate bullying. You just unprompted drawing.
He felt it.
Just draws into The Last of Us. I'm like, what the?
Did you start streaming?
Last of Us 1, because I want to see when's The Last of Us come out. Why did?
You know why? And it's the remake again.
No, it's the show.
Oh,
I put Last of Us 1. It did the remake.
it came out in 2013, I believe.
Okay.
Because it was the final year of the PS3 before the PS5 came out, and I believe that was 2013.
Okay, I wanted to see when Yakuza 0 came out. Because it has one of the hardest. It's like, ooh. And it's pure. It's a blind girl, which is it's
Automatically,
it's on the tier. It's
yes.
on the tier. It's the tier up above a normal lady. But it's the build up to a very specific moment that it's storytelling where they go, hey, here is this thing, and then you go, oh, that's gonna come back, and then it does, and you just go, oh, it came back, they did the thing, and it's just them giving you exactly what you want, and it's not a death, which is a very easy thing to get an emotional from. It is a thing that is important to a character coming back in a way that makes a lot of sense, and it's built up throughout this entire game, and seeing these two relationship, and it's just bam, right then and there. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the people that know,
I am
know.
gonna play it at some point.
And then it goes further in a future installment, and it gets better somehow. It's the best. Holy crap. Okay, never mind.
What, there's gonna be some video. Yakuza 0, the worst story ever.
Okay, thanks.
Arms because of the world of The Last of Us. And that was only the beginning of what lies ahead, which was more loss, pain, and suffering. 20 years after the events of the Outbreak Day, and we once see Joel again, but now as a cruel, ruthless old man that did anything he possibly could in order to survive. And then the game introduces us to Ellie, an outspoken yet...
Who is this for?
Who is this for?
We know.
naive
And if we don't know, we would presumably have to know you and how this changed your life, and we have to be invested in you personally, maybe a family member or something like that, because Mama used to watch our podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's for them, but is it worth it for an auntie to be like, okay, now I understand?
I really love how Marlene, like, Joe, you gotta take her, and then she reaches that place at roughly the same time as them anyway.
What are you saying? She's lazy? What road are we going down here?
Kid with the biggest heart you'll ever see. She kind of gives vibes of Joel's deceased daughter, Sarah.
Yes, that's the point.
Yes, that is exactly what the point is.
He's supposed to see her as the surrogate Sarah, and he never got over that loss, and so on and so forth. That's why when he comes,
another chance to save her,
and that's why when Tommy, he's like, you gotta take her. I can't keep being around her. It's strictly because of this,
and that's one of the shorthands that this game does of, we need to get to a point, and Sarah, in the short time that we saw, was a very precocious kid in the downtime, and so we make this girl the same thing. How do we make the choice at the end of the game a little more clear cut, even though it's just like he's mowing through all these people? Well, they were going to kick him out while they reneged on the deal, so he doesn't have his guns or anything that he promised, and they didn't wake Ellie up to be like, is this
get
cool?
her consent,
and she doesn't even get to say goodbye because this surgery apparently needs to be done. Hashtag now. Not even a second. She can't wake up, nothing. So it makes people's argument about did Joel do the right thing a little easier when all of those things are stacked against him, obviously with the death and all that stuff. It's just like, but they did him wrong.
They've done everybody wrong, so it's okay to just see them
as
more
another justifiable.
It's more justifiable,
and that's one of the shorthands that this game takes, just like with the Ellie thing.
And because of that, you see this depressed old man just brush Ellie aside at any chance he gets because he doesn't want to run the chance by connecting with her in any possible way.
No, he sees it as just another package, and that's the reason. You're just a thing I need to take to a thing, so shut up, follow me, and don't get yourself killed.
Don't make this any harder than it needs to be. Because he is just pure survival mode. He doesn't need attachment, he doesn't want attachment, but he kind of clearly does because he's still wearing that watch.
Mm-hmm. And then eventually he starts opening up. And then he sees that he's doing that and goes, I can't be doing that, take her.
It wasn't until the scene in which Joel finally trusts Ellie with a rifle that you finally see both of them actually trusting and actually connecting with each other.
He basically had no choice because it was like 12 dudes there.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hey, you just gotta.
Just don't shoot me.
Yeah.
And you will be a massive help.
If you can take out 2 mothers, that boy.
If you can distract them for a second, that's all. So it is just, I have a 5% chance of survival with her, and I have a 20 with her. So
Without her, 5.
Without her 5, and with her 20%. So you take that one.
Before, you had little instances in which they talked, and of course they were forced to protect each other and they had to talk and all those things. But you have Joel now making efforts in basically trying to trust Ellie, which in result, it made him open up to Ellie little by little.
This isn't opening up, he's teaching her how to do it so he can survive and get them there.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better if it was a trusting moment where it wasn't a life or death situation. Just they find a can of Coke and it's just like,
one day you might need to start shooting, so let's teach you.
I was going just like, she's never had it, and it's one of his favorite things of all time, and he goes to open it and she's just like, what's that? And he gives her a little bit or something like that. Just something that's not, oh, now that I see your worth, you're worthy of me engaging with you.
I love that almost.
Or like you said, just this is gonna happen, so I need to help you. Maybe it was another time where she couldn't do anything. She was just beating on somebody with her little girl fist and just nothing happened. And
which has happened in the game.
And it's just like, I need you, you need me, we need each other, so we need to do this.
Which in result, it made him open up to Ellie little by little. I love that almost every scene in this game makes sure to focus primarily on the main characters, and honestly, in every moment that Ellie and Joel are present, it feels personal and incredibly immersive.
It is personal because the game is 90% 2 characters talking to each other.
It's not difficult to do that. They talk to each other, and they both have trauma, and they're working through it. A competent writer can do that. Movies do this in an hour and a half, and this has 12 hours to do so.
These parts of the game very compelling because when I first tried the game out back in 2013, I wasn't particularly in the best mental state. I was alone in almost every sense. Yeah, I had my parents, but we were passing through a rough patch as a family. Adding that to the fact that in that point in my life, I was kind of just a loner. I had no friends, and I was always bullied at school growing up.
It's
hashtag he like me for real, for real.
I
don't
understand.
think that there's ever been anything, because his story is very much mirroring stuff that we went through. I don't think there's ever anything that it changed my life and like helped me.
And it's just very difficult to be like, this is an amazing story, partially because of what I've gone through.
Yes.
That's always something that gets me just like, just talk about it on its merits, because you're going to connect to it more based upon what you've gone through.
It's no different than Clyde and Naruto, where it's just like, I was going through the same thing Naruto was, and y'all didn't suffer, Naruto suffered, and by transitive property, that means I truly suffered. Me!
I was socially awkward and just never knew how to interact with people, and some people just thought I was just a weird guy and ghosted me instead of trying to understand me. I learned to hate people rather than just
charge me.
For what?
Oh no, that's good.
Okay.
AT&T bill. It was like, what the? No, not today.
Giving others a chance, and I pushed so many people away because of the traumas I have experienced growing up in a toxic environment at home and in school. So by seeing Joel and Ellie, 2 strangers who don't know each other and little by little started to love and care for each other in a world like The Last of Us, that truly amazed me and made me a bit jealous.
You needed a therapist, not a video game. I'm glad the video game helped, but you needed a therapist.
The video game's purpose is to get to a point. A lot of relationships in real life just don't go anywhere. This story was to show one that does go somewhere. So if you can be like, oh, they can do it, I can do it too, you must be prepared for failure. You can't just walk outside, see the first person walking with their dog and just be like, we're friends now, or nice dog. Some people may reciprocate that, like, oh yeah, thanks, it's a corgi. Some people might just be like, I got someplace to be. Some people might just be like, who the f is you?
These are two people basically forced together that spend like 6 months traveling together, basically alone for the vast majority of that time. They're more than likely going to connect, unless it is, I mean, truly the oddest of couples.
Ellie has a fairly affable personality. She's a child, so she has her annoying moments, but she's not annoying as a whole. She's just sort of just like, oh, this is a kid character. She's not really like get away from me. It's just like dumb jokes and everything. And Joel, once he starts to loosen up, he's just a father figure. So they both have likable, easygoing personalities, and they connect. It's a story meant to get to this moment. It's not this fireworks aren't going off. I'm sorry.
And it's not even like this is the first thing that did it. It's just really the first thing that you personally connected to that did it. Because you could have got the same type of thing in The Walking Dead. You could have got the same type of thing in old like George R. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. You could have got the same type of things in Day of the Dead, which is one of my favorite movies. Zack Snyder, holla at your boy. You could have got this in a superhero movie, honestly.
Yeah, people making connections when they don't seem like they should.
In a world that seems vastly unfair or broken.
That's not something where I'd be like, oh snap, what? That's happening? I'm like, okay.
That was basically Lost. A bunch of people that don't really know each other. Some end up being villainous, some end up loving each other.
And we all saw how that 10-star masterpiece turned out.
Yeah, people still call it a 10-star masterpiece.
Is it Death Note like, where it's just like the story, this show ends here? Oh no, because I know there's a lot of that.
Are you ever gonna watch it?
No.
There's a point where there's essentially multiverse going on. There's like flash forwards and flashbacks from like alternate timelines.
Does anybody hop dimensions?
I don't remember. I don't think so. It's been so long since I've seen it. I would assume maybe part of their consciousness did, maybe.
Because somebody just like, oh, I'm from this dimension. We've got 4 toes, and then you just see the dude's feet in like season 2. It's just like, why does he have 4 toes? And then it finally comes back here like, we just have 4 toes, and you go, oh, well, that's still stupid, but I guess it explains that thing.
Flash sideways world.
What the? Yeah, that just sounds.
The main character just created a metaphysical realm to find each other after their death. A place and producers and fans call it the Flash Sideways world.
Producers and fans? This is just some made up fan name bullshit that's just sort of retconned.
The Flash Sideways saw characters living out in alternate scenarios. Season 6 introduced a new narrative technique. That's when the show ends.
Isn't that same with the Game of Thrones? Isn't season 6 the doo-doo season?
It is. But Lost had one more season after it. Yeah, grand opening, grand closing.
In a way, I wanted something like that, and I wanted it more and more every time I played this game. Seeing Joel.
So what would be the difference between this and watching a romance movie or romance anime?
Where something like two characters are stuck on an island and they have to act like they're dating, and then they actually start falling for each other.
Just what's the difference between that, or just slice of life where friends are hanging out and you just go, I want that. What will be the difference? Or is this just
The difference is
here and now?
The setting, because the world itself is broken, like his world, like what he believes his world to be. And yet these people that have really nothing to do with each other were still able to find each other and love each other throughout this journey. That the broken world is the aspect that really matters. That's why I brought up Lost, because there is a broken world and there's smoke monsters and people are dying and that shit.
There was like a 3 or 4 hour video by Bellamy, I think his name was, that I was watching. Then I was just like, this is just too dumb. Because I'm a big fan of put on some 4 hour video about some show I've never seen. Hey, here's me explaining all the stupid thing in Riverdale. I'm like, yeah, let's go. But Lost, I was just like, no.
Dude, people love that shit.
Of course they do.
It's just the mystery. Even if the mystery doesn't have a fun payoff or a satisfying payoff, at least the mystery.
Years and years of speculating and theories and community togetherness.
Starting to open up to Ellie to the point of caring for her in the later sections of the game truly made me feel like if this man, somebody who lost everything, somebody who had way more trauma than what I will probably ever have in my life, is learning to love again, I think I might have a shot at loving again as well. That's why I always get emotional every time I see the ranch scene, because I see this broken man finally realizing that he cares for Ellie and that she cares for him as well. That's why I feel emotional when I see Joel hugging Ellie after she manages to kill David, showing how Joel completely opens up to Ellie and starts to love her like his own daughter. That's why I cry most of the time when I see Ellie and Joel pet that giraffe, because they have come a long way from not knowing each other to now loving each other like father and daughter.
Pause.
And
I would not pet a giraffe. I don't know how vicious they are. I don't know if they.
I'd assume not very.
Nah.
I wouldn't do it while they're feeding, because animals while they're feeding are crazy.
Zoo environments, that's cool. That's a wild giraffe. Again, that goes back to the rabies thing of, nah, not today.
I mean, if you're living with zombies, it's just like, well, rabies, if they happen, that's just bullets in the brain. Because, the second I can't drink water, welp.
That's just putting ketchup on ketchup. It's like, well, what else could happen here? You get bit by a zombie. You're just like, y'all, rabies and a zombie infection. Fight it out. Maybe
Who's gonna win?
Maybe I'll be the cure. Oh no.
I've got zombie rabies now.
I'm just a zombie and I'm really thirsty.
But I can't
forever.
drink.
That's why I feel incredibly emotional when I see Joel deciding to kill most of the fireflies and the surgeon in order to rescue Ellie, no matter if that came at a cost for humanity. This game truly is one of the most grounded games I have honestly ever experienced in my life, showing humanity at its worst, but at the same time, showing what we humans do for true love.
It's not really true love as much as trauma from his time before where he couldn't save his daughter.
And again, I'm sure if they had the conversation of, let me do this, this is what I want, thank you for coming around here, whatever, they have a final goodbye, he walks out. But they left him no choice. It was BS. So it had to happen like this in order for him to make this decision. Because if it is just Ellie going, please let me do this.
I want to do this.
I want to do this. I want to be useful to mankind. And him just going, no. It's like, we can't.
Well, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm feeling less attachment by controlling you because I got to aim this gun to this man's head.
That doesn't deserve to die because Ellie's already said, I want it.
And then when she wakes up, she's going to be like, hey, yo, what the happened? So this had to happen in this way. And it's very just forced.
Oh, shit.
We played the game,
bro. I do not need this.
We played the game. If we haven't played the game, we know about the game. We don't need to.
I've played the game at least 3 times.
You don't need to do this. If anything, we will remember the last 30 minutes of The Last of Us. I think that's one that's in people's memories. I'm a bit hazy on some of the things that happened in like the Arankar arc, but
how could you not be?
So much happened. Like one of them had like a gravity shikai.
I don't believe you.
Blonde man with the he had
Blonde
a sword
man.
that had he has blonde hair that sort of swoops over his eyes.
In the captains or the
No, he was a lieutenant, and he had a sword that had kind of like a L shape at the bottom. And
I remember the L-shaped sword.
his thing was raise your head, and then his dumb sword name. He had a gravity.
I don't. Okay, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just saying I personally, in my opinion, don't remember this.
What's going on with Ruby?
Oh, it's coming back. What do you mean? They're supposed to be at Anime Expo.
No, they're there now.
Yeah. It's
And
time.
we finally have an answer. Ruby's found a new home with Viz Media.
I'm very excited,
Me too.
obviously, and I know you guys will all be very excited. What this means is Viz Media will be the home to the Ruby franchise, so that includes production, distribution, licensing, consumer products, and more.
Oh,
As
it's
you can tell,
gonna
we're
be
very excited
going forever now.
Yeah.
No.
We were headed toward that end, and now we're not. We're back, baby.
It's bad.
But people like it, and that's all that matters.
But it's bad.
Who cares how good it is?
I should care.
You should.
People should care.
People should care, just like you shouldn't need to say, in my opinion.
It's
and yet,
bad.
here we are.
Who was celebrating this?
Do you need to go to the comments?
I did.
And
What?
all right then. That's who's celebrating it. Clap.
They don't.
Pyra.
They don't deserve it.
They deserve an ending. Now, how that ending comes about, who's to say?
They've put themselves into the position where they don't deserve it.
What?
They drove the company into the ground, and a result of that is you don't get an ending.
I'm happy they at least there's people that get to keep their jobs.
Obviously,
or
that's
new
always
jobs.
good for them. Hopefully, they get better work environments, and since with Viz, maybe a pay bump or something, so they don't work for $14 an hour, doing the entirety of the thing, and these bums get the credit as they're driving around with Teslas, and you taking a bus.
That sounds like my job. Oh, we're still doing this.
Oh yeah. Oh, this.
We should have just been talking about it.
Yeah.
I got you. Come on.
Cover the exits. They're not covering the exits.
Hey, the surgeon's dead. Why are y'all still chasing this man?
This has to be revenge at this point.
We're okay.
Not cool, bro.
I said get back! Stop!
Why would you stand in front of the open?
And why would you shoot inside of the open? Boy, Ellie is a heavy sleeper.
You played a whole month in cutscene, homie?
This is how these mugs end up 40 minutes. This has been going on forever.
This game changed the way I viewed my life because it
God! Why? What was the purpose of that?
Yeah. Again, it is just the ramp up of it.
God, I remember that and how emotional it was.
There's always that second act low point, so that the coming together and defeating the foes feel better because you've already come down from that. You're down here, so the ride up is a lot higher.
Even if from the initial high, it's only 2 points higher, it feels like 20 points higher because we were 15 points below.
Showed me that no matter how hard life gets, no matter how many people hurt you or leave you, no matter if you're alone, one day love will find its way to you if you choose to break down those barriers and learn to open up again, no matter the pain and suffering you might have gone through in your past. Like I said before, I felt like I was a loner. I had no true friends, and most friends that I thought I had either betrayed me or I just disassociated with them because they chose paths that ruined their lives. I was always...
And not that, because I don't know what your situation is. You've placed nothing on yourself.
Yeah, that's the great part.
They've all betrayed you, or they went down a bad path in their life. It's nothing about. It's just a bit of a weirdo. I was a bit of a weirdo in high school.
I felt I was a weirdo. No, I was a weirdo.
No, I was a weirdo. I can say that 100%, 1,000%.
I used to go to high school in a giant trench coat, and my book bag was a briefcase. Like, I was a weirdo.
Yeah. It is what it is. So I can say, hey, I can understand why I didn't have too many friends in high school. That was around the time where anime wasn't as prevalent. I was a big into that.
I ended up getting friends off anime.
We were poor, so we didn't have too many social no cars, no like, hey, let's go to this party because we're broke boys. No, I can completely understand that. But
now, dude, parties wear me out, wear me the f out.
I was at I've done 3 concerts in the past 3 months, and they're all just like, I'm the old man, just like off to the
Wrap
side,
it up.
like. I'm like, where's a part? Where's somewhere I can just stand off to the side and not really get into? I'm like, oh, they're moshing. I don't want to get hurt. There was a seat at one of the ones that I've gone to. I was like, can I see over people in the seat? Yup, I'm sitting down.
This is years ago, but at the Crowfoot, the Crowfoot's basically a bar. And there was, I saw Taproot there and I saw Dance Gavin Dance. And both times I sat on the bar stool like, hey, it is what it is.
That's where I saw Drugs, and that popping a squat right there. Yeah, woo!
Like a few months ago, I went out to a party and it reached like 1 a.m. and I could feel these muffs were gonna go for another 2 hours, and I went, I am out. I am out of here. Have fun, y'all.
But I'm not sitting there just like, this music is too hard. That's why I'm getting tired. Like, no, I'm an old muff. That's why I'm sitting down over here. I'm not blaming other people or other things for my things. And again, everything could have been other people.
Yeah, that's truly possible.
But it just seems very unlikely that it's just, I'm a loner because everybody else
either betrayed me or went down paths.
Everybody else is doing the wrong thing, and therefore I'm going to be right and by myself. And that's just what it seems like. Again, I don't know. I'm not asking you to delve too much into what you've gone through, but this is a video where you're putting it out there. So more examples would be helpful. Or even
it's just a little bit of an inward look. Like, hey, I understand there were some things I could have done better. But it's truly just like, hey, everybody around me.
You see Joel making mistakes, and he's changed.
And he still is just trying his best. And that taught me to just, even though I've made some mistakes and it's hurt some people around me, I'm still every day just trying to do better. And I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm better than I was yesterday. But it's truly just, hey, them muffs. Them.
Bullied in school and suffered a lot growing up with...
I was bullied in school too. Like, everything you're saying is basically the things that were happening around us. And it's just like...
And again, not to make light of your situation and everything. It's just... These are things that a lot of people go through.
And I understand, this game got you out of it, but that's not, and this is going to sound harsh, that's not really good enough. This game is not doing anything that should knock you out of that.
It should be some more self-reflection. What's the problem with me?
Yes. Not, hey, even with all the things around me, I'm going to keep pushing forward.
And some people do need that first little push. But that should...
You know what? I take that back with the whole... I'm sorry, keep going.
No, I'm just saying it should be a push, and then everything else should be internal.
I'm going to take that back of that's not good enough because I don't know how old this person is. And if you're a 16-year-old playing The Last of Us, 15-year-old, hey, that legitimately may have been good enough for you.
Hashtag deep.
Hashtag deep.
Because, back then, Dragon Ball was good enough for us.
And now it is.
But that comes with looking back and just going, man, Elemental Jalad, wush. Man, Shakugan no Shana, wush.
But at the same time,
that.
Those things weren't good. The Last of Us is good. It may not be this 11 out of 10, but it's good.
Barely anyone to care for. Then, after playing this game, I felt emotionally vulnerable to just put myself out there, and because of that, I became best friends with two incredible human beings that I consider to this day to be brothers to me. And then I met the love of my life, who is now my wife. All because I gave myself another chance to love again. I truly relate to these.
I wonder, does he feel that he would have been a shut-in or...
without The Last of Us.
Forever, or would it just been like, hey, stop this shit? Or sometimes it's just you go off to a Burger King and somebody's wearing a shirt from a band that you like and you just go, yo, I like that shirt. Or they come up to you and like, hey, I like that band.
I got that for Back to the Future with a bus driver.
Got that a lot with Gorillas when we went to the burger thing.
There you go.
And then sometimes it just happened and then you just go, oh yeah, we're cool now.
Characters in ways I never thought I would. That's why I
and again, you're going these vague like, once I played this, I let myself open up. It's like, how did you do that? Did you go a friend call you and just go, do you want to go to this party? And normally you would say no, but then you had in your mind The Last of Us and went, I'm actually gonna do this now.
No, because he said he met two people. So I wonder if it was just like he overheard a conversation in school, and before, even if he had an input, he would just not say anything. But this time he was just like, hey, I know about that and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's a very nebulous. And if you're gonna, like I said, if you're gonna put out a video like this, let's get some details, not just this flowery, it really helped me, it saved my life, changed my life, whatever. Let's get into some details about what happened, because you can, at anything you can watch it, just be like, I watched Dragon Ball and now I'm a better person. It's like, what?
And people do, because they'll be like, I want to go to the gym, or I want to be like Goku, where I'm always trying to improve and blah 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 blah.
But it's like what we were talking about with the boys. There's a end point here, and there's a beginning. It's just the middle part is like, whatever. So I'm a loner. Last of Us 2, I have friends now. Like there's no real correlation or connection there.
Y'all missed like a 10-minute discussion of The Boys. Season 4.
Probably should have been recorded, if anything.
The work Naughty Dog has done in making a special game like The Last of Us. That is why I make sure to experience this game again and again and again, every single time I have a chance to. I just can never forget how a video game completely changed my life forever and helped me to learn what most of this world shamefully lacks: the ability to love and trust again.
Yeah,
that's
the world. Love.
Get better.
You're
the world.
The problem.
How many
I'm married. Are you?
How many people, get divorced and then find somebody else and then they're married to that person for like the rest of their lives?
The world is not. They don't have the same mindset as you had at your darkest moment. There's a lot of people that are just sort of not really outgoing and everything, but the I can't be loved and I can't love it. I don't know how many people who's not taking the LTG advice are thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
or going to seek professional help.
And now that we've got into this,
Mm-hmm.
now we have to go, okay, some 6, 7, 8 years later, The Last of Us 2 comes out and further changes his life. It has to be somebody passed away. And this is the mother's basement of now I've learned how to accept and grieve. But watching this, I'd be mad. Stop! What are you doing? And he goes, you connect more with what was the daughter's name? Sarah. By controlling her. Wouldn't you disassociate from Ellie because you're controlling her and making her do like the press X while you're beating that lady with the spores thing? It's like,
or having a mash it out to kill the dog or whatever.
It's like these aren't actions that I would take, but the game is forcing me to take them. So you're losing the connection with Ellie because it's not something that you would do. You're not feeling that fear that Sarah is going through, which was the point that you've made. You're not feeling that, oh no, what's going on, and connecting with the character. You're going, I don't want to kill this person, but the game is not progressing until I press this button. This is sped up. This is sped up, y'all.
He always wants to hit that beat, but he could have just did it on the.
Could have put letters in with each brand. That's the editor speaking in us.
The Last of Us Part 2 changed my life as well. But honestly, I would be lying to myself and to you guys if I say that this game did not impact me more than the first The Last of Us. Even if the focus of the first game is absolutely perfection in my eyes, and the second game does suffer a little bit from some pacing issues and structural issues if you base it more on traditional ways of storytelling, The Last of Us Part 2 completely changed the way I view and interact with the world and grew to appreciate our imperfections and our differences in our views, morals, and humanity. It made me question my own humanity, my own morals, my views.
This is the Naruto story of if you attack the village is justice, but that village suffered.
Yes. Everybody has their own story. So by doing something wrong to you, you don't know what that person is going through. I talked about this before, but this is a Burger King training video where they sat down just like, okay, and then they just swooped around a Burger King in like this one shot and then they would just zoom in on this
beautiful cinematography.
It was actually really good. Like, oh, they broke out bread for this, but they would zoom in on this guy and an older guy, and it's just like, this guy is on army leave, the first time that he's seen his father in 5 years. Zoom over to somebody else. This person's dog just died. Zoomed over to these two are having their first date, and the whole thing was just like, you never know who you're serving, so give them the best possible service. And this is
sometimes you're just serving a cut.
Sometimes it's just like, hey, why do you want your burger cut in eighths? No, I'm not gonna do that.
I'll do it in half and you got the rest, fam. Here's a knife for you.
Hey, why are you pulling out a scale to weigh a rotisserie chicken? Actually happened to me.
I still go back to that every now and then just to listen
I
to
listened back to it recently. I was
it's
like,
so good.
Holy crap.
I really went through all this.
Because it was just like, it is done. It's over. Back of the mind. Moving on. I'm not letting my trauma define me. That mug really did pull out a scale.
It's legitimately a sitcom move. You can see in Jerry Seinfeld or Chandler Bing, just like or Ross. Ross would definitely do some like this. This is like, hey, is this chicken actually 16 kilograms? Yes, sir. With scale,
really?
hack.
Views, my feelings, my personal bias when it comes to certain events that happen in this game. It made me go through a bag of emotions that honestly no game has ever done before. And it all started with Joel's death in the first hours of the game that tested me like nothing has ever tested me before. Because Joel is not just a beloved character by the gaming community, but he is
Joel is not a beloved character.
Thanks, Cosmo.
my favorite character in video game history because of what the first game means to me.
Say whatever speech you're gonna say.
Prepare and let's get this over with.
It's one of the coldest lines.
You stupid old man. You don't get to rush this.
I felt
And you
anger.
would think, since he's grown and changed and he's more of a protective person, you'd think he'd be more like, what have I done to you?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just that cold, cool line. It's a good line.
It's a fantastic line.
But I would think, coming off of The Last of Us 1, and this is even further in the future, he is not that character anymore.
Especially when we see what he was doing in The Last of Us 2 in that little bit of time we do get with him. I would assume, he would ask, hey, what
Just
have I
who,
done?
who was it? How did I hurt you? Just something like that.
disgust, a plethora of emotions I honestly never felt before. I was crying my eyes out like I lost my own.
No movies, no games, no nothing gave you a plethora of emotions of just like, I don't want this to happen. This is not to my
What was his
taste.
childhood like?
What
Because
have
I've gotten angry at like Ninja Turtles.
Rugrats of just like, Angelica, stop bullying Chucky.
Plethora of emotions I honestly never felt before. I was crying my eyes out like I lost my own father. I wanted to avenge Joel. I was just like Ellie. I was not thinking of anything else apart from finding this bitch Abby and destroy her into little pieces, just like how she
Pause.
destroyed.
But she has a story, and she's going through trauma,
And it
you
made
never
me
know
realize
who's
bro,
going through what and why people do things.
and why they might need a Whopper.
I ain't cutting that bit in eighth zone, which is what somebody actually said. I'm like, this will destroy this Whopper Jr.
It was a Whopper. They must have had a lot of kids there, and they just didn't.
Well, if you got a lot of kids, what is essentially 0.5 of an ounce of food gonna do for 8 children? I'm sorry, I would rather be like, all right, we eating in shifts. Today is your turn to eat. I would rather eat a fourth of something than an eighth of something. I'd rather eat a fourth of something today and nothing tomorrow than an eighth, an eighth, an eighth, an eighth.
Just enough to feel hungry.
Yeah. Oh, I'd rather be like, oh, now it is my turn to eat. Instead of just, oh, thank you for this one bite.
My heart.
And if that's
into
the case, just let me know, and I'll give you like 8 patties on that bit.
Yeah, I've done some
I don't
real
care.
dirt.
Exactly. I'm like, this ain't coming out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, you want 9-piece chicken fries? Okay, we're about 10 minutes before we're leaving. I've got 20 chicken fries here. Nobody else is gonna order these. These are just gonna be thrown away. You're getting 15, 16 of these mugs.
I can't tell you how many times on night shift I went, hey, we're about to throw these nuggets out. You want them?
Legitimately, I don't care.
Because they're just going out anyway.
Yeah.
I'll count them. All right, we're throwing out 27 nuggets. I'll write that down. Here you go. Because they're just going in the trash anyway.
Now there have been times where people are just going, I have too many nuggets. I'm just like,
How is that?
Duff, is you just
Oh, that lady that came. I was just like, hey, if you just gonna give me 6, you might well give me.
I mean, there's months like that as well. The fast food life
Is terrible.
I could not imagine going back. If I was forced to go back there, I'd be like, I would legitimately rather die. I am not stepping foot back in that mud.
Except on the right side of the counter.
Yes.
little pieces by killing Joel. I was filled with hate and vengeance in my heart to the point where I didn't actually feel bad at first by killing anyone that crossed my path. I just
But Jimmy!
it's very odd that you would not look at things in different perspectives, because this is any anime or whatever. You got a villain and they have a backstory, a reason why they got into this position. Doflamingo is a repugnant piece of, but you see how he got into this situation, and you at least understand. It's not this blind fervor of he has to die. It is, I understand how he got into this situation,
but he has to die.
He did his dirt. So he got to go. It's not just whatever. This is just some big dumb character meet Smash. That's not a very good mindset to have in a video game like this, or any video game, because that just sounds like you don't experience too much, where you don't understand that something is going to happen, where this isn't just a wall that you need to just push over. There has to be something here, because
there should be nothing there. You shouldn't feel anything about killing these characters, even when they start talking about their past and stuff. They're just avatars for the plot that is in your way for the rest of the plot.
But this is a character that specifically targeted Joel. So you know that she has some sort of grievance against him. And therefore, we have to learn about that for this to be a competent story. So we're going to learn about that. And that blind fervor that you've gone through, it's just going to be like, oh, well, why did I do that?
You might want to add some more of those videos to the list.
Yes.
Wanted Abby to die. The flashback scene in which Ellie and Joel are in a museum of dinosaurs and space only intensified my hate and anger.
Why do you think that scene was in here? It was for that exact reason.
Like, this dude, and this is not an actual slam to him, but he's a mark.
Yeah.
He is reacting exactly as the game wants him to react.
Yes. Joel gets smashed and you just go, okay, she got to die.
Oh, here's a flashback. Oh yeah, I'm so sad about this, and she definitely has to die.
Yeah, this is you're seeing the Demon Slayer flashback and like, yes, that was you are a sad spider person for whatever you've gone through, which I don't know since I still have not watched or read that. And I, unless forced to, will not. Hashtag Frankie backstory.
Question mark.
Question mark. Because I may have already watched or read it. But cope and seethe, motherfuckers, because it's funny to me.
To find and kill Abby, because this is what she took away from us. A man that has done cruel things just to survive, but honestly won our hearts when he slowly learned how to love again with Ellie.
Yes.
But
what about when he killed an innocent doctor?
Mm-hmm.
We're just cool, huh?
You shouldn't be in that blind stupor. You should realize, based upon the first game where the ambush happened and Ellie was just like, how did you know that? And he goes, I've been on both sides of it. You should know that he's done his dirt, and the dirt is gonna be come back on him.
Sometimes the dirt returns.
Sometimes it don't, but sometimes it do. And this is just one of those situations
where it do.
Where you shouldn't be in that blind rage. You should be like, dang, what happened?
Even through all those emotions that I was feeling, when Ellie tortured Nora to find out where Abby was, I was there, falling into darkness alongside with Ellie.
Yeah, this is pure markdom. This is when they do a big presentation and they just go, the gamer will feel this.
Oh yeah.
DSP. Now the gamer has learned. I don't know how he's not mortified to be an example.
He's mortified that they didn't ask his permission.
They stole my gameplay footage
of their game. He's so goofy.
But he is the example of now the gamer has been taught to do. And he's just like, oh, here's this boat thing. The gamer is satisfied. I'd be mortified.
As an example of, we've gotta walk these fools through this because they're babies. So we're gonna flower up this language, but just understand what I'm saying. The gamer is too stupid to know where to go unless we direct them directly to that thing. And we're not gonna put a big old X over it because that's a problem. They're gonna look at it like, oh, they think I'm stupid.
The gamer needs to learn by themselves. They need to be like, I'm smart enough to be like, this boat has oars, so I paddle the boat. The gamer has learned. Dude. That's when you really just, is it me?
It is literally his voice, dude. It's just blaring out of a conference with all these developers. Just producers, directors, company owners, and
you are furthering future game design by being trash. You're falling into what they want exactly, and they just go, you see, the gamer is satisfied by learning a new discovery. Never. Could not be me.
Could not. And legit, we will say couldn't be me. A lot of could not be me.
The day that I turn off the camera, that's just like, what? All right, y'all. Peace out.
Dang. Am I the problem? I rail up against all these simplistic games and all this hand holding, and yet here they are holding my hand with an invisible hand that I never felt.
I didn't even know it.
They were guiding me the whole time. I guess it's just me.
Could not in my wildest dream. But going back to the video, that's what this person is. This black lady is part of the crew that murdered Joel. So now she got to go.
Yep. She deserves it for killing the person we care about.
And when I said this was the exact scene that I said, like, this is the disconnect between Ellie because she's acting irrational, and this dude is just like, yeah, smash her. He in mashing that X button, he got that turbo controller.
But here's the thing, opposite of him, I felt nothing because to me it's just a story I'm experiencing. It's not, oh, I'm in the shoes of Ellie, so I'm gonna feel bad or justified in killing this person. I'm just going, I am Ellie, and now the game is telling me to kill this character.
Time, I started to question Ellie and how far she is taking this. That action of torturing a person isn't the Ellie I remembered from part 1. She actually resembles the same attitude Abby had when torturing Joel, which...
Yeah, maybe that was the point. Maybe that's the exact thing.
This is a mark.
This is very surface level of just like, hey, Lady Smash, I like that guy. Me punch her. It's like, it's not that simple.
Concerned me and made me feel divided and confused, but honestly I still didn't question it enough because I still had the mindset to kill Abby.
Yeah, I was still just out here.
Up when she arrived at the theater after what she did with a face of disgust that basically says, did I just do that? That really shook me to the core.
So he had the ability to do the text one at a time and just chose not to do it.
Not only is Ellie losing herself because of her obsession for Abby, but I, myself, feel dirty because I'm the one who pushed Square to torture Nora.
You are a mark.
But you couldn't feel that up until this moment, until the game said, now you do feel this. Because Ellie feels this. You couldn't at any moment just go, you're going across country. You're leaving all your peaceful life and family behind to go on this cockamamie revenge that you may not even fulfill. And then you do it again at the end. You are supposed to feel this before she stepped out the house.
I'm the one who was okay with that at that time. And things just get worse by day 3. When Ellie prefers to go to the aquarium to locate Abby instead of going somewhere where Tommy might be. You can see Jesse is stunned by Ellie's obsession and leaves her to save Tommy instead.
Yes, so a character has to proclaim, "You're going too far, Ellie. This isn't you." Normally, you
Think
would
about your legacy.
If I were playing you in a video game, this would be the point where I would start questioning your actions.
If I were a mark.
If in the situation that I'm gonna go, Tommy, I gotta go.
Ellie is now driving down a cliff straight into darkness, straight into a mental state she has never experienced before, and also into a state that many of us, if we go down there, we never come back from. And that is perfect.
I don't see what would place me over that edge.
Nope.
I'm sorry. It's just I'm not saying I'm a better, smarter, stronger person, but I just ain't got it in me to be like, oh no, you gonna get it no matter what. Maybe not
portrayed
no matter what.
when Ellie finds Owen and Mel and not Abby and proceeds to try and interrogate them about Abby's location, the same way Joel did to the two cannibals in the first game. But just like Ellie has shown throughout the entirety of her days in Seattle and in the process of her descent to darkness, her lack of control and calmness, something Joel did have, which made him intimidating and effective, came to bite Ellie.
But that's a different situation.
Yes.
He had both of them tied up.
Yes. She has a gun. She is a person, and she can only point it at one person at a time.
In the ass when she gets emotional and loses control of the situation and then is forced.
No, she didn't get emotional and lose control of the situation. The dude basically jumped at her hair.
And then this chick also jumped at her. Now, if the situation was, which it should have been, she is pregnant, please don't do this, or if she didn't have the biggest coat imaginable on, this quadruple XL coat on to hide her bursting pregnant belly, if she was still just like, I don't care, let's get this done with. But in her mind, just like, I'm not gonna actually do anything, But this is just, you've attacked me!
To shoot Owen and kill Mel, only to realize in that moment that Ellie has ended the lives not just of two people that tried to kill her, but also of an innocent unborn child as well.
Yes, which was what you're supposed, whatever you're about to say, that's what it was supposed to be. And this moment is forced for that to happen.
Yes.
This man that's his kid, is not like, please don't put, that would be the first thing out of his mouth.
Yep, please don't do this. She's pregnant.
She should not be on the field if she's this pregnant, but she's going out on zombie missions. It's stupid.
Completely lost it there. I was going through so many emotions in my head. I just knew in that moment, after what Ellie just did, killing Abby was just not worth it anymore.
Pause. But she didn't do that willingly. She killed two people, as she has done before outside of the cutscenes. She has killed people in the cutscenes willingly, purposefully. It's just that she did not make this choice. This is just another person. Any of them people that she killed in or outside of the cutscenes could have been pregnant. Absolutely. But this one definitely was. Everybody has their own story. Everybody's going through whatever, just trying to survive. And you've ended these people's lives. There will be people that grieve for them. You don't care. You only care now that this person is pregnant. That is what this is supposed to do, because it's that tear of innocence thing.
It's not worth losing your own sanity to the point of even killing a pregnant lady, even though.
But
She didn't kill a pregnant lady. She killed a lady that tried to just kill her.
She killed a lady that happened to be pregnant.
Yes.
She didn't go into this going, die pregnant lady, like Abby did.
She didn't even know she was pregnant. Her obsession caused all of this chaos, and if Abby had to live
but what was she supposed to do? Either one of y'all pregnant? Sir, are you pregnant? I don't know how things work. I've got like 3 years of school, and so
return
babies
home, recuperate mentally, and not lose yourself even more, you know what? Why not? But honestly, life isn't that simple. Whatever you do in life will without a doubt come back with you.
Shablamzo!
And that is exactly what happened with Ellie. Abby appears, and my heart is honestly at 1,000,000 per second. With seeing Abby shooting Jesse and Tommy hurt on the floor, I immediately forget about all the experiences I had with Ellie. I immediately forget about just me going back home, me forgetting about this, and my hatred for Abby comes back once again. This was finally
What an absolute. This is the target that Marvel is going for.
Oh yeah,
just like
every quote unquote mediocre story beat that has any type of emotional resonance, you're basically bawling your eyes out.
because that's what you're supposed to do. Now is the time that you clap or that you feel sad. Regardless of what's going on, regardless of how you actually feel about these characters, you're just like, oh, this is the villain? I hate them because they've done an evil. No matter, that's all it takes is just like, you've done wrong, rah. I'm like, that's simply not enough. Walls are a thing. We always talk about walls, but Nappa, nothing. Raditz, nothing. Dodoria Zarbon, nothing.
the moment that we all were waiting for. Our revenge right now, it's here. But instead, Naughty Dog said, fuck you. You're going to play as Abby now and experience her perspective of those 3 days you spent with Ellie. What a punch on my mental stability this truly was. If I was considering therapy by only experiencing Ellie's side of the story, imagine how I felt when I realized the game wanted me to play as the bitch I hated and wanted dead.
That is the purpose of what they were going for. You see, you hated this character, but she's not a bad character.
She is basically Ellie.
Yes. She had every reason to do what she did. And you've been playing this person that's trying to get revenge, but now you're playing another person that had to get revenge. Don't you see? They're essentially the same character. Don't you feel foolish now?
And he's gonna go,
And
I
then
felt foolish.
The gamer felt foolish.
The gamer felt foolish. Literally handheld them to this emotional moment. Now the gamer feels foolish.
You hate this character, don't you? Oh, she's just this repentant bit that just has no feelings and she's just smashed. Oh, but her father saving a zebra.
And then she takes off her mask and it's Ellie.
I'm you from the future. I'm you from that parallel dimension in Lost. We're doing it here, baby.
I lost it and completely just said, you know what? I'm done with this game. I dropped my controller and went to sleep.
Big baby.
I was considering not finishing the game because I
Eric.
had absolutely no interest in opening myself up to the possibility of even liking or just simply trying to understand a character I hated. But I told myself, hey, you know what? I already spent the $60 for this.
And see, that going back to the Frankie backstory, that was my mindset when I was very young.
Yep, teenager.
And I had watched 5 or 6 anime, and I didn't really play any games or anything. This is not the mindset to have. I see that now, as I have or have not watched Frankie's backstory.
This game, might as well just see what happens next. During my first playthrough, naturally, I was not vibing with Abby at all. The more I played with Abby, the more I was thinking, when are we going to go back to the theater so I can kill her?
Pause. And see, you're not trying to engage with the medium at that point.
Nope.
You're not going where the game wants you to go. You're just, well, whatever.
Ellie, please.
And being handheld is just as bad as completely disassociating with the media, because you're not experiencing what's going on. You're just going, I need to press forward in X until the moment that I'm done with this.
Of course, because I am playing as Abby, experiencing her perspective, I become a little bit more sympathetic with her after realizing that the reason why she tortured and killed Joel was because Joel killed her own father, who was a surgeon who was going to try and
Now the gamer.
Now the gamer feels sympathy. This is what it wants you to feel.
Yep.
Everybody has a story. This is why she did the thing.
And it's not even that, the game making you want to feel this way and you feeling this way is a bad thing.
No.
But don't act like it's some groundbreaking thing.
Yeah, no.
Because the game accomplished its mission with you.
I hate this character. Oh, that's why she did that thing. No deeper thoughts. We talk about people when they're just making the connections, themes, and all that.
I
where
forgot
they just
to put the pop card over this. Keep going.
Where they do all those things where they just go too far, thinking in ways that make the story better. But this is literally surface level, looking at it. I understand why this character has done this thing. Point blank, period. No themes, no deeper meaning, no narrative, nothing. Character is getting revenge for a thing that she went through. Dunzo. That's exactly what it was supposed to be.
Extract the vaccine by killing Ellie. But I still hated her, of course. I mean, how can you just forget what she did to Joel? She did something cruel to somebody I cared about, so fuck her. It wasn't until the end of day 1 when Abby meets Owen in the aquarium that things started to change a little bit. When Abby and Owen are having a conversation about why Owen protected a Seraphite and ended up killing one of his own WLF members, it truly shocked me a little bit in that moment. Owen couldn't kill his own enemy because the Seraphite was an old man that just gave up and claimed to just be done and tired with all this war and this constant killing of each other. He told Owen just to kill him. This showcases one of the first times in this game which we are, as the audience, are exposed to a moment in which two people are actually communicating with each other, leaving their own tribalistic mentalities and tendencies aside, and manage to understand each other as human beings that are just blinded by our own surroundings and those who we choose to associate with. Danny
The gamer
lost his life because he couldn't separate his loyalties and tribalistic mentality for just 1 second and give mercy to a man that just gave up. You can see that Abby understands a little bit, but she isn't there yet. She continues to insist to Owen to come back to the WLFs, showcasing that her loyalties are more important to her right now than her own loved ones' mental health and happiness. And because she is acting this way, she tells Owen to grow up when he suggests that he wants to leave the WLF and try to find the remaining Fireflies who might be located in Santa Barbara. And Owen responds with this.
Sorry I grew up. You should try it.
Oh yeah, how do I do that? Should I go find the people that killed my family? Cut into them? I could torture them until they're crying now.
And then they banged.
Because that's what humans do. They sex.
Owen called Abby out on her hypocrisy and completely exposed her to the point where she attacks Owen, but quickly realizes he's right. Because of her obsession to find Joel and kill him and actually become successful in doing so, she actually lost everything and gained absolutely nothing.
Yes, revenge is not good.
This is a crazy scene to pause on. Paul, where you at? Logan Paul, Jake Paul, I don't remember which one.
But that is the narrative of so many pieces of media. It is just, yes, revenge does not get you what you want. Big whoop. And you played the whole scene like, oh, another revelation. Abby didn't get what she wanted. She got her revenge, and now she has moved on to other things. How did it make her feel? Is she satisfied? Is there closure? It's not really spoken on, so we have to. She has those nightmares, but we don't really know if that's really associated with the Joel thing. She doesn't really talk about how she feels. If she had just been, I feel empty, or this isn't what I thought it would be, that'd be something. But she just gets angry, just like, what was the anger for?
Process, she didn't make her nightmares go away. She realizes now that she lost the one person she truly loved to another person. She is now more broken and alone than ever, and she only has.
we don't see her mindset going into the obsession with Joel. We don't see her weighing her options like, is this worth it? What do I get out of this? Their leader is just like, you can't just go out there and take all these people. He's like, but I got to.
I need some.
So you're weakening the camp. You're not thinking about the people that you have here, and they're weakened because other people could come into the camp. It's just that obsessive mindset for some 8, 9, 10 years. And there's no forethought about anything around there, anything outside of this, the future or anything. It just feels very hollow in that fact that it's just revenge, revenge, revenge. I've gotten my revenge. Oh no, my house is on fire. How did that happen? Like, you've left the stove on. You didn't realize it because you were too obsessed.
She is now empty. Abby starts to grow on me from this moment on. The things Owen told Abby truly cut deep into her heart, because the next day she then returns the favor to Yara and Lev by saving them, because both Yara and Lev saved Abby from being killed by the Seraphites the night before, even though they are considered enemies with each other. This shows a contrast of the current Abby and the Abby who was filled with obsession and hatred and decided to torture and kill Joel, even though he saved her life and was of course the enemy in her eyes. Abby starts to grow as a character, seeking for redemption for what she did.
Well, as
in
a
this
person.
process, she learns to understand why.
But then what happens when her friends get killed?
Right back to
it. So what was the learning and growth that she got outside of not I did a bad thing that hurt somebody else, a little girl like you were, you didn't have that. It's just I don't really feel anything. That didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. So let me help these people in order to get the feeling that I want. That's all this is. That's not a good enough reason to be like big growth, big change. That's not a defined character progression. Development. Development is what it is. Because it is just the nightmares goes into dang. I'm still having the nightmares, even though how do I get rid of these nightmares?
Got him.
I got him. Hooray! My life is fulfilled now,
ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
We got him. We go back to the scars, man. Like we got him. All right, back to missions and stuff.
Oh my dreams.
What did she think was gonna happen post revenge?
That everything was gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
In what way? And it's just that mindset of just nothing further.
Was there even a thought of what happens after, or was the thought alone enough? Because revenge blinds you and blah blah blah, so you don't really see the future. You just see the thing in front of you. The only future you can see is the one where you got your revenge.
Absolutely. But she still has friends and relationships, and she goes, yo, I hit a personal best on my bench, and then dude goes, yeah, good job. So she's still friendly and affable, so she's still willing to make those connections and everything. But then when it's just like, okay, he's over there, it's like, let's go, boom, boom, boom. It doesn't really line up.
Redemption for what she did. In this process, she learns to understand why Owen did what he did. She learned with Lev how dangerous having a tribalistic mentality can be, because it blinds you to the point in which you see others as just the enemy. And when that happens, there is less of a chance to actually openly communicate with each other and try to understand each other.
Pause.
That causes...
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be like, I am a black person and that person over there is a white person, so I have nothing in common with them.
Yeah, that's crazy bars.
It's because that's what this is. It is a person that is different from me.
That person believes in God and I don't.
And there's nothing that I can learn nor gain from them. They're the enemy. I do not engage with them at all. And this is this character's mindset, and we have to walk through her going, wait a second, they're just a person. Oh, thanks.
The gamer has learned.
The gamer has learned of the existence of people. Object permanence is what the gamer has learned.
This severe division to the point in which...
Why is there always... It's so weird. every now and then there'll be a revisited where there's just a running joke throughout it, and then it just really never comes back ever again.
Because we understand the thought of, if we run this into a ground, it's just gonna be tired and just like, oh, they're just doing the thing. If it naturally comes up, it's gonna naturally come up. But otherwise, it's
and try to
the
understand
mindset.
each other. That causes severe division to the point in which even killing each other is normal, and that's okay because we just don't understand each other, so let's just kill each other. Just because a group hates one another or vice versa. By Abby speaking with Lev, she realized we are all one, no matter where we come from.
I'm sorry.
And then it's time to kill them.
Yes, you are now the enemy again. Sorry, but you got to go. And I don't want to watch a character learn that maybe I shouldn't be racist. maybe racism, maybe not today.
At least not with this one.
You guys are at least the good ones. So let's start there. This is not a very... And not only that, but we're watching it 2 times with Ellie.
Between the WLF and the Seraphites actually represents perfectly the constant fighting and division that we people experience in the real life right now in society. All
Black
you gotta
Lives
do
Matter.
is actually just sit down with those people who have different views from you, like Abby did with Lev.
I'm sorry, but I don't want a trans person to sit down with someone that wants them dead to talk out their differences.
Yeah. We need to get that other person back from the ledge a little bit. Because what could the trans person do to meet them at their level?
Like, legitimately, we're supposed to meet in the middle with I just want to live and I want you to die?
Yeah, maybe not.
No, some people should not be met in the middle with. There should be no common ground for some people.
You got to come back here.
You gotta stop being a piece of
And if you do your actual best to listen and understand them and vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa.
As a black person, I am not listening to a person that goes, Choco Monkey die. You have no values I want to learn from.
Now, when you say Choco Monkey die, where is that coming from? Choco Monkeys needing to die.
But where did you learn that? Like, what happened in your childhood? My parents said Choco Monkeys needed to die, and now I think so as well.
I
do you truly, or is that in your heart? Yes. I have learned.
Do you have any questions for me? Will you die, Choco Monkey? No. Well, eventually, yes. But
I'll wait for that day.
But he goes vice versa. Like, what could a Ku Klux Klan member, what could they say to me where I'm just like, you know,
not a lot. It's not that far.
Yeah, you know.
It's not that much of a walk. That ledge is looking mighty fine.
Compton. Like, you know what? You got an extra large one of them hoods.
Chicago.
How hot are those hoods? How hot is the whole get up, all right? You know, it's a little hot out there today, but...
Crips and I guess they do need to die as a whole.
Chicken production is high, and we need to pull back a little bit. You're right.
But yeah, like, what could a Ku Klux Klan member say to your average black person to just be like, you know what? Maybe I do see it from your point of view.
What could they say to somebody just like me, middle class, whatever dude, where I'm not some gangbanger, I'm not some CEO, I'm just some dude that likes anime. What could they be like? Well, the blacks are a jail population. I'm like, yeah, that's not me. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I've never been to jail.
Maybe those people should not do those. All black people and drugs. Well, white people and meth. Whatever. People do things. It's not necessarily dependent on their race or ethnicity or whatever. It's just these
people are talking about like welfare queens, and then it's like the majority of people on welfare are white people.
So I'm sorry, but this. Now, again, this is the extreme 100% all the way up there.
Yeah, but we see it in our world today of just like, hey, they don't want trans people to live. So why should they be listened to by a trans person?
I wonder what discussion, what two groups he's talking about having these discussions.
He's probably talking like Palestine and Israel, where there's just people at war and soldiers killing each other. Mm-hmm. And if we just sat down and talked to each other, we wouldn't be...
If it's an army of 1,000 and an army of 1,000, if two people sat down from each, that's not going to stop the war.
But if they all sat down and talked to each other, then...
That's difficult to do. I'm sorry. We don't have a big enough hall.
But this is what's happening here. We have a war that is seemingly in the game meaningless. I understand the meaning of the war going on right now, but seemingly in the game, this war is meaningless. If they were to just sit down and talk, maybe, hey... there shall be no more war. And that's what he thinks is going to happen.
I was about to say, this is again, this is the purpose of the story, to tell this story. But it may not happen like that, where they just go, okay, we just don't see eye to eye. So an agnostic person and a Christian, it's like, okay, we just don't see eye to eye. And we both walk away learning from each other, but still holding our beliefs and moving on.
We will quickly realize.
Yeah, there's a meme that's gone around where it's like, just because we disagree doesn't mean we can't be friends. And moms are like, yeah, but that's like your favorite flavor of ice cream, not, hey, black people should die or not. Like, and that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. There are things where you could find a common ground, but at some point, some people are so far gone that unless they start coming back on their own, you can't do anything.
We aren't as bad as we think we are, and different from each other. We just suffer from being influenced by those who we grew up with or decide to associate with. That is why when Abby told this to Lev when she decided to betray her group to protect Lev instead.
Oh my god, she's gone. Come on, those were your fucking people. Hey, you're my people.
I grew to actually respect Abby after that.
Which was the point of that.
And the gamer has gained respect.
Mm-hmm. Why does Abby consider Lev her people?
Because she spent some time.
Because it's just like you aren't an evil person. You're just somebody trying to go through life.
I'm trying to live.
Hey, I am now 3 days after accomplishing my mission.
I'm pilgrimage to murder a mother.
A 10-year long journey. I'm just like, this whole war thing, it sucks. It's like, that's
this revenge and killing people, it's cooked.
This is done. So I'm just gonna leave my entire people, my home, what I do.
Oh, what's that? My friends are dead. All right, line them up. Let's go.
Yep. Bang bang. I'm killing pregnant women.
Good.
Fantastic. Better. 2 for 1 special.
I'm glad you told me that. Because now it's definitely gonna happen.
Something I couldn't do for the longest time. She outgrew her group because she realized that they're just as blind as she used to be. They act in a tribalistic mentality, villainizing anyone.
But you said that in the first game that you've split off from people that's gone down the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that you've done something, she did something that you couldn't do and split off from toxic people, but you've already done that.
One who is not part of their group. This right here taught me to leave my personal bias aside, to try to understand those who may have different views or perspective from my own.
Man,
that's crazy. I couldn't imagine a video game teaching me to look at people's perspective. Like, again, no shade to the dude, but God, I couldn't imagine.
Me being a Christian and just being like, oh, maybe I should listen to people that, as an adult, as somebody who you and your significant other never went, hey, I want to go to Burger King. I don't like Burger King. And you never went, why don't you like Burger King? There's never been that discussion of, you have a differing opinion. Let me find out why you have that.
Even the way, like, whether spanking a child is right or wrong. Like, you've never had this type of conversation and try to see it from the other person's perspective and then go, I understand where you're coming from, but I still don't believe in your version of it.
Through Abby's section, I realized how hypocritical I was acting. I was okay with Ellie killing anyone that gets in my way because I wanted to kill Abby and avenge Joel, but with Abby, I was not okay in the beginning for what she did. Even though I realized why she killed Joel in the first place, I still did not want to connect with her. I still wanted to kill her. My connection with Joel was so big, I didn't care to understand Abby at all. And honestly, subconsciously, I excused Joel for his actions in the first game.
About characters outside of the characters that they care about. They have learned. This is why do you think they cut it when they cut it? Mm-hmm. So that when you come back, you now understand both characters' perspectives. And now that feeling of I just want to kill her, that is lessened.
And then when Ellie does want to kill her again, what is your feeling now? Please don't. I hope they find some common ground. I hope they both live.
This is the exact purpose of this. And you're not looking at how it was done. You're just simply looking at the fact that it was done.
And fully villainized Abby in this game. And honestly, that's only natural because we human beings are kind of wired that way. But the good thing is that by the end of the game, I was fully on Abby's side by the end of her section, only to then remember the horrors I did with Ellie during those 3 days. Because then Abby arrives to the aquarium and finds Mel.
And that is the reason why you play as Abby in that last section, going up against Ellie. Because you sympathize with her, where she is trying to better herself, whereas Ellie is going she's going into the dark path. So of course you're gonna sympathize more and relate more and want to see. You obviously don't want to kill Ellie, but if it's the choice between this person is making waves to be better and this person is just killing babies and torturing people, of course you're gonna go with this other, the good person.
Dead on the floor. I was incredibly divided in that point because I grew to care for Abby, but now I know Ellie and Abby's showdown is now inevitable.
Yes.
The hardest thing for me in this game was this game forcing me to fight Ellie as Abby. I just wanted to drop my controller and not do anything. I wanted to stop, but this game forced me not to stop. I was going through so many emotions and I was just scared for both of their lives. It was truly one of the most intense showdowns I have ever played before because I cared for these two. I cared for Abby and Ellie. I thought Abby was going to kill Dina because of course she overpowers Dina and Ellie, and if it wasn't for Lev, Abby could have done it. Honestly, it was very intense to see. She could have...
Make this a choice.
Yeah. I would have loved the end choice. I still would have not killed Abby, but give people the choice to kill Abby.
Make this a choice, because you're playing as Abby. Do you do it and Lev is distraught? Do you kill both of them? Do you kill one of them? What do you do here? But no, the game has a direction that it wants to go through, and it is the redemption of both characters through their significant other or their trauma or whatever have you. And you have no say in this, even though if you're just like, no, kill her, they've done you wrong. I don't like what's her name, Dina. I don't like Dina, kill her. I don't get paid. The man is dead.
Avenged Mel by killing Dina, who was pregnant. She almost fell back to her former self because of how hatred and the thirst for revenge can easily blind us. You can know what the right thing is to do, but sometimes your emotions can overpower you. No matter who.
Did she know that was the right or wrong thing to do there?
Yeah. Or did she not just want to kill in front of Lev and just like, this is shit?
She wasn't like, oh, this is wrong. She said, good, she's pregnant. You don't say that.
Make it all the sweeter. If you're a good person,
you don't say that. If I'm taunting you by killing this pregnant lady, and then I will kill you in your despair. Here I go. Oh, is this the bad thing to do? Should I not be killing this pregnant person?
Who you are?
I don't think she's a good character or a good person in this situation. If the one word of good, she's pregnant, is not like, the moral dilemma of her trying to no.
It wasn't like, hey, she's kind of battling doing it, and then it flashes back to her friends. It starts with her friends being alive and blah blah blah, and she's kind of taking her hand off the throat, and then it ends with them dead lying there,
and then she gets that resolve.
And then Lev stops her, and she's just like, "No, this is wrong."
Maybe she closes her eyes or turns her head away, like, "I don't want to do this, but it needs to be done because eye for an eye, whatever." But don't just like, yeah. And you think that's gonna stop me? You've only made my dick harder. That's what that is.
Right thing is to do, but sometimes your emotions can overpower you no matter who you are and make you do the incorrect decision. So
pause. Your emotions can overpower you. Okay, the situation has de-escalated. There is, what does she say? Don't ever let me see you again, or you gonna get one of these.
What's the correct thing? Not killing Dina.
What?
You said emotions make you do the incorrect thing. Why was that incorrect? Outside of just not killing a person.
Revenge bad. But let's say she does do the correct thing and not kill her. Why does she not do the correct thing here and just go, I'm sorry, I'm going to get you help and we'll never see each other again. Hey, why did your father kill my father? Let's have a talk. Nothing. It's just like, I'm going to teabag and Fortnite dance over you. I've won. This is the Batman thing. I've defeated you.
Never forget.
And if you want to come back for another one, we can square it out. But you don't want that. You don't want the smoke. You don't want to be dead in the street, mouth full of blood, soul full of heat.
Ooh.
Let's go. Ooh.
Ellie's just coughing up blood. How do you know those lyrics?
But this has to be fourth of the situation has de-escalated. Ellie is no longer a threat. Mm-hmm. Abby is no longer willing to kill.
Yep.
There's no bomb. There's no big threat here. Sit down and have a conversation. But no, you've gone through your trauma. It did not make you better. You see, this was the girl that her old man, she was crying over him. They have some kind of relationship. She went through what you did. Talk it out. I'm sorry I had to do that, but he did this to me. And I'm sure based that he's done that to hundreds of other people. I'm sorry I had to be the one, but it was gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
My father did nothing wrong. Your father did do something wrong. He had to go. I'm sorry, but that's just is what you surely you understand that, right?
Yeah. Because you thought I had to go.
But there's nothing when this situation has de-escalated and she, in your mind, Abby has done the right thing, the good thing. And now she does not further that.
Abby does is she realizes that what she's going to do is just not the way. So she decided to break the cycle of hatred and vengeance between the both of them by letting Ellie...
Hashtag Naruto bars.
Ellie and
but
Abby...
this isn't breaking the cycle. It's just, don't ever let me see you again.
Otherwise,
that's a
threat.
That's you gonna get enough. I have shown that I can best you. So unless I'm sleeping or eating my cereal and you come up and pop me, that's the only way you getting one over on me. Or if hypothetically I'm strung up for 8 months and I've got zero strength left in me and then you just start punching me, which would be just be silly, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But that's never gonna happen.
Yeah,
That's
we're Lev in this situation. Like, what are we talking about
come
here?
on now. You got a kid coming. It's fine. But there is none of that. That is not the cycle being broken. It's just her trauma has not been dealt with. You've just killed another one of her people. You tried to shoot another one of her people. And you shot him in the face. Presumably, you thought that you killed her. Mm-hmm. You have people dead on your end. The cycle is not done because you do not have those people back. Sit down, talk. This was stuck, right? I'm sorry, I almost anything as people would.
Moved on. And we see Ellie now living the life she and Dina discussed.
And she has this trauma because she did not deal with it in that moment. She did not get that closure. So she's haunted by this moment because it's just that bit is out there.
She done beat me up. She done killed my peoples.
This kid don't have a father because of her. She does not know anything that she's gone through. So she's like, she's evil. She's probably out there golf clubbing other people. She got to go. Not just, I am a person who had a wrong done to me. You are a person. Common ground. Dang, sucks, don't it? Anything.
He wanted to have back when they were in Seattle. They have a farmhouse. They have a beautiful family with JJ. They are happy and they have everything they.
I wonder how hard it is to model a baby like that.
I wonder if it's just full CG as opposed to an actual model.
Maybe you can put it in a onesie with the little things, and from that point, you just got to do what you got to do with the face. Just like, don't shoot it from too close up. It looked like that Twilight baby.
Maybe it's even an animatronic like the Chucky. Yeah, something like that.
They need to live a healthy
I think
life.
about too much things because I'm like, I've always had the question of like, what is the going rate for like a stage baby, a movie baby? How much does the parent get paid
per hour?
Because
Because there's a child contract, so they can only work like 3 or 4 hours.
and then the kid is gonna sleep, is gonna cry, so you gotta stop filming and production. Does that like you would have gotten paid $3,000, but we only shot for half the day because the dumb little kid went to sleep.
So you only get 1,000 for the day.
I've always wondered about like child baby contracts, like, but it means nothing.
I bet you do.
Why'd you say it like that?
For obvious reasons.
I bet you do. It's just, it wasn't accusatory. It wasn't like anger. It's just like an acknowledgement. I bet you do. What the fuck?
Yet again, life isn't that simple. You don't just move on easily from traumas. Ellie suffers from PTSD.
And her
Abby
PTSD
did.
was supposed to be stopped when she killed Abby? Because we've already seen no.
Abby, her PTSD magically went away when she started saving Lev, and it's like, okay, cool. I guess this is my purpose.
And with Tommy's visit later on, Ellie can't take it anymore. She can't sleep. She can't truly be happy. She tried to move on, but she can't. Her obsession destroys everything Ellie loves, just like the obsession that Abby had destroyed everything she loved. Ellie tracks Abby down one more time, only to find her completely weakened and prepared to die. Yes, Ellie seeing her in that condition makes her feel...
I don't think she was prepared to die. She's like, please cut me down. As soon as she gets down, she's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here.
a little bit of sympathy for her and almost lets her go. But yet again, obsession kicks in, and Ellie's humanity is now about to be thrown away, just like Abby threw away her humanity by getting her revenge. Ellie had to lose Dina, JJ, her mother's switchblade, her 2 fingers, which destroys the only connection she...
But again, imagine if she was laying there in the first confrontation that they had, beaten and bloody, and Abby's walking out, and Ellie just goes, I'm sorry. My father was, Joel was a good man who made a lot of bad decisions. Mm-hmm. If he was here, he would apologize. But I'm apologizing.
I can't say that since he told me to just tell him my speech. And
Abby could. She's like, well, he did just save you and your mother when I was beaten though. I was like, well, he was not in the right, in a better situation.
Hey, you were beating him.
To be the most fair. But it's like, I'm sorry that whatever he put you through, you had to go through it. Just because she has lost. She is on the back foot. She's being allowed to live. I'm going through all the things that I would do if I was either writing or in that situation. And I'm not saying that it would be better or make for a better story or anything, but I wouldn't have the complaint of there's no conversation about any between these two people. As she's being strung up, Ellie could have just been like, why'd you do it? And Abby could have been like, this is not the time. And Ellie goes to walk away and she's like, wait. He killed my father.
Left with her father figure Joel, the ability to basically play the guitar, Ellie had to lose all of that just to realize at the end that killing Abby was never, ever going to fix anything. That killing Abby was not going to bring Joel back. It was not going to make anything better. It was only going to make things worse. By killing Abby...
And why did she not realize that on the long trek here?
Yes.
Why did she not realize that in the time between Dina being not showing that she's pregnant and that little baby being 6-7 months? Why did she not see that at any point in time in this? This is just, I don't think revenge blinds people in such a way that they're not just like, they're not envisioning in their mind choking this person out. And then what happens? It's confetti starts raining down and an angel Joel comes and just like, you've avenged me.
It's done.
You
may now live.
Your trauma is over.
The Ellie has learned.
But it's just that mindset. And just the moment that it happens, and she just goes, just go. There's no conversations. And for a story purely built on the characters, like he said, this shifts over to the theme of revenge or whatever. And therefore the characters take a back seat to the theme stuff. Because if it was character stuff, we would have gotten that big scene where they're talking in the first game like he liked. Where they would have just talked about their shared trauma. Just like Ellie just goes, what's her name? And then Abby goes, his name. He was, and it tells the story about the syrup fights. And she's going, it's kind of messed up. Why was you up there? Just something, but there's just nothing.
It's just fist and knives and guns.
So when this moment happens, and it's just like, just go. So many people have different interpretations about what happened here. She let her go because Joel wouldn't want this. She let her go because she finally forgave her. She let him go because revenge isn't the way. A combination of all of those, two of those,
some secret fourth
one. But it's not.
But the gamer doesn't know because we didn't get a chance to be guided through conversations.
Yes, we don't know how these characters feel. This, essentially, she's been strung up for months. She looks down just like, oh, you was back there, wasn't you? And she gets let down and she's just not like, we cool? She holds her hand up like, oh, is everything all right? She just goes, all right, let's get a boat, get Lev, let's get out of here. And then she gets punched and she goes, what are we doing here? Her mindset is not, she's come back for revenge. She's just like, oh, I guess we're cool. Oh, I guess we're not cool. Why did Abby come to that realization of, oh, she's not here for revenge? She looked past all of these moths being strung up, came directly to me, let me down. We're not having any kind of conversation or anything. Why is she helping me? Whatever. Oh, I guess we're punching now.
She would become a monster, just like Abby became a monster when she killed
She doesn't know that. She doesn't know anything about Abby.
Yeah, because they haven't really talked.
I
think collectively they've said 8 lines to each other.
Because when push comes to shove, when revenge comes, she didn't kill you. She didn't kill Dina. She killed Tommy because he rushed in the room. Jesse. She killed Jesse because he rushed in the room. Just like, oh, here comes people, bang. That's what you're trained to do. Tommy was getting uppity, so he had to get one.
As he is wont to do.
Yeah, but she's not a monster. You don't know anything about her, so it's not like I don't. That's the secret fourth thing. I don't want to become like her.
And it's truly secret because Ellie don't know who she ain't got no clue.
The image of this person is a meanie and I don't want to be like her is what's put. And like I said, It could have been any one of those three things that I said, and now this dude is just like, she didn't want to become like her. I'm like, oh, I guess that could have also been the thing.
So instead, Ellie lets go of Abby and rescued the little bit of humanity she had left in her. Ellie did what most of us who hated Abby wouldn't do. Ellie, in that moment, preferred to make sure the cycle of hatred and vengeance is now destroyed for good. Even though it cost her everything, she can at least now live in peace, knowing that she did the right thing.
Is her trauma gone? Is she gonna stop having them in nightmares?
What does she consider to be the right thing?
Not killing her. The right thing would have been staying on the farm.
Yes. Pause. How did The Last of Us 2 change his life?
It taught him to look at things from other people's perspective.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This game is not about revenge is bad, don't do it. It's about showcasing the true aspects of humanity, to showcase how obsession and hatred can turn even the best people we know and love into people we will not recognize.
That sounds
Isn't
like
that revenge bad?
Like, it's a really reductive way of looking at it. But in essence,
Yes.
the line is revenge bad.
It's not about revenge being bad. It's about humanity teaching us that revenge isn't the right way to go about these things. You've just 8th grade middle school presentationed me.
War is bad. War is not a construct in which we should engage for reasons that are dubious at best. All right, thanks. You just said war bad.
Showcased how having a tribalistic mentality by being so loyal to your own groups, that can be your family, your friends, or any other group, can be extremely dangerous if you're not careful enough. It can blind you.
But it can also help you. It can also be a good thing to be loyal to your group. Because what if somebody rocks up just like, oh, he's about to betray you? Like, no, I'm loyal to this person. And then you turn out to be right. It's not such a blind, like, don't listen to no. Obviously see everything from different perspectives, but I don't need to be told this.
No, he had to learn it from The Last of Us 2. That's why it changed his life. And now he can act like that. Thanks, Last of Us 2.
So much that you can even hate others for no reason just to stay loyal with your people. By not recognizing this, we can potentially just ignore those who are just trying to communicate with us, and instead we attack them because they have different points of views from us.
She was not trying to communicate with her. Which her, pick one.
Game tested my own personal bias to the point in which I can say right now that
I love black people now.
My biases are complete.
I tolerate them. I'm willing to have a conversation with one of them, so long as they don't smell that bad.
And it's in a public place, because you know how they do.
You know how some of them may do. I'm learning.
feel like a changed man. This game has changed my life to the point where no matter who you are, where you're from, what you believe in, if we can just sit down and have a respectful conversation about our differences and actually become interested in what we view in life and why we are so different from each other, it honestly will be a pleasure to do that, because for me at least, I will get the opportunity to learn from everyone, and at the same time, it will create unity instead of division. And because of
You've gotten that from half of the story.
Yes.
What was the other half of the story?
Something bad.
Something. Well, let me pull out my scroll real quick.
this, I decided to keep doing YouTube and try my hardest to create a community where we can all respect each other, no matter what.
Hey, I can respect a person and not like them. I can respect a person and not agree with them. I can like a person and not respect them. I can agree with a person and not respect them. Those things are not necessarily mutually exclusive. I can respect your opinion and completely disagree with it and call you stupid for having it.
No matter if you were conservative, liberal, neutralist.
No,
yeah, boy, yeah. The right, the left. Oh, woke.
Yeah,
have a conversation with Synthetic Man. Let's see how that goes.
Or have a conversation with like Sam Cedar on the other side of the spectrum. Because I don't know which way this guy leans. He might already be one of them.
I'm sorry. I do not want to have a conversation with a woke mother.
A mother just saying the word woke, just shaking your head when you see a black warrior, female warrior.
But at the same time, I don't want to have a conversation with a mother that is just rah black people. You go into their house and it's just black power fists and African tribal masks. And I'm not having a conversation with that mother either. Everybody shut up. Hey,
but I'd quicker have a conversation with that mother than the mother going, no, black people.
No, but then what if they're just like, oh, you're listening to rock music? That's their music. That's what you just be like, oh, damn, I can't listen to Muff and Taproot. Headstrong to take you on?
That's Trapped.
Trapped. Them too.
Well, I think went a little tug collar.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think they had a huge fight with Tillian of Dance Gavin Dance, as a matter of fact.
He's done his dirt.
Oh, he has done his dirt. But I think he just kind of jumped into it. Trapped.
The music industry is very, because I'm branching out so far into new music that it's at a level that I've never done before. Mm-hmm. And I would just be like, okay, this band is good. And in the YouTube Music app, if you go to a album,
mm-hmm.
Let me see which one, because sometimes you just gonna make a liar out of me like this. Really, we out here cooked on fire. The state of me in shambles. Here it is. It would be like this. Where it would be like, The Architect is the 4th album by blah, 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 blah. And then we'll give all these little templates. And then I'll be like, okay. And then it's like, this is their last album because in 2017, drugs and underage. I'm like, oh, mother.
Yeah.
So I'll always just look like, what did you do?
In November 2020, Span reported that Facebook had deleted Trap's page on the grounds of hate speech. In December, the band's Twitter account was suspended after Brown wrote a series of tweets, lead singer, that multiple publications interpreted to be about defending statutory rape. Where Brown said he would high-five a hypothetical 15-year-old boy who had sex with a 25-year-old female teacher.
That's a little too headstrong for my liking.
I shan't be taking you on. He challenged the existence of white privilege, calling people nerds that went to the Unite the Right rally, and supporting Trump's Chinese virus rhetoric in reference to the pandemic.
Woke. He is a shakehead woke.
Oh yeah, for sure that man is.
Oh no.
Christian, atheist, whatever. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be respected. And
no, some do not deserve to be heard. I'm not hearing a neo-Nazi.
Yes.
Period.
Abortion, pro-abortion, anti-abortion, you can listen to them. Neo-Nazis, get out of here.
And you deserve to be loved. Subscribe to my channel for more
Some
content
people don't
like this,
deserve
and
to be
remember to hit that
loved.
notification bell to get notified.
I'm sorry,
of future
Muff
videos.
and Rooftops, man. Nah.
Oh, Ian, yeah.
Nah, he can get it. He can get a different kind of love.
Stay positive, stay safe, endure and survive. And I'll see you guys next time.
Endure and survive. They don't really go into be happy, be safe. If you're enduring, you're just like, I just gotta make it to the next day.
Yep.
That's a 10, boy.
I'll go 9.5.
Yeah,
It's bad.
It's quite bad.
But I do like he said to like and subscribe at the very end. Mm-hmm. You know what? No, I'm going to bump it up to the 10 because in a video talking about why it basically saved you, maybe don't hit the like and subscribe rhetoric. Maybe don't add that little bit at the end. Yeah.
I will be adding his other videos.
Absolutely.
So
that was terrible.
Yeah. Just a blind acceptance of Gamer has learned.
I am a mark.
He is gonna be in the next presentation. Because my goodness.
All right. What time is the taco thing tomorrow?
The taco thing, we're going after Corey gets home from work.
When does he get home?
I think 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. So we're probably not going to stream tomorrow.
It depends on if we want to go right, because like you said, even if we go at 6 and it is at 11, so that's still because Eric and did you say he went with Lauren, or I shouldn't be just saying names like this. They said they went 2 hours last year and they were just done, so we can go a little bit later if need be. So
I mean, at worst we just stream Sunday because we're potentially not having a podcast Sunday anyway.
Potentially, but when would this go up? Would this go up Saturday?
It would go up to Saturday instead.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we need to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, so don't know what we're doing. You don't even know what we're doing stream wise,
or what we did stream wise.
Yeah, depending on when you first hear this.
I found a bunch of new videos, so that's good. It's just
Is
harder to find videos. Yes,
dude. He tried to look for boy stuff.
It's just not.
It's
either
there,
but it's just
or
not there.
anti-woke,
and I'm just not there for that. And even still, it's going to be difficult because there's stuff that I really like, and there's stuff that I just really don't like. So if I get into one, and it's just like, oh, this is going to be talking about the stuff that I don't really like, and then it's just all stuff that I really like, and I'm like, oh man, Busto.
I've been really into listening people talk about Mr. Bertram and that Twitter comedy, animated comedy, where it's the crux of it is, this is weird and I don't like it. Shake hand. That's basically like 85% of the jokes. God, it's so unfunny.
Yes, it is quite. It is. I was just like, ooh. And you see some stuff like that, like, okay, maybe it's just passing me by, and then you go, oh no, everybody's on this train.
And I've come to realize that a lot of people, when they just say like the N-word and that's the comedy of it, it's not so much that it's comedic, it's that you're enjoying it. And your level of enjoyment is to smile or have a quick chuckle. But in and of itself, it is not comedic. Mm-hmm. The things surrounding it can make it comedic, but just dropping an N-bomb and walking away is not comedic. And I feel like a lot of those two shows are, I am enjoying him taking to task these woke libtards or whatever. But in and of itself, it is not comedy. It is not comedic. I am simply enjoying what's happening. Smile, quote, and or laugh.
And that's kind of what I liked in this previous episode of The Boys, where Homelander just goes, "We gotta beat the anti-woke lib," and they just go, "But what about our bottom line? What's your infrastructure plan? We're gonna figure that out." I was like, okay, but what about the banks? And then Homelander's just like, the woke and libertarians.
Sage has more information,
and because it gets a little heavy-handed sometimes. We're just like, yeah, we got it, but just like, no. This isn't what this is. You can't just do that.
Save that for the VNN people.
Save it for that TV bush where people will just listen to you. Money time just ain't about that.
And he got nothing.
He got cooked. He's so good.
That little twingy
star. His facial expressions are so
After she gives that big speech of like, I believe this, he just had that, what the just happened here? Maybe I don't know about this.
Yeah. That's it. We're done. Sound the alarm. So we will. I tried that last week, didn't I?
I'm just gonna stop it.